Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tejano Traveler. I'm your host Wally, and today we are in Texas Gator Country, visiting Beaumont, Texas. Now, Beaumont has a lot of museums that you can go to for such a small town. The first one being the Babe Zacharias Museum. Babe, whose original name was Mildred, got the nickname Babe from being a pretty good baseball player. They said she was a Babe Ruth of women. And here she is. She's excelling at every single sport known to mankind. Seriously, she racked up some serious trophies and medals, and it seemed like no sport was able to defeat her. She could do everything: football, baseball, basketball, tennis, golf, every single track and field event. She was amazing, and this little museum showcases her life since she was from Port Arthur. And we also have the world's biggest fire hydrant. It's huge. It was mostly a prop for the 101 Dalmatians movie, but they eventually ended up leaving it in Beaumont, Texas, and now it's there to thrill visitors. Look how huge it is. It also has tiny little ones around there that you can look at, which are kind of cute. But Beaumont is home to the Fire Museum of Texas. Here at this museum, you can see what fire hydrant trucks used to look like. They've got a pretty good collection of what the technology was at the different times of history, from simple rolling ones to the big huge trucks that we see nowadays, which is pretty cool. They got this mock-up one of the truck that you can get in and pretend to be driving around. Now, my brother's a firefighter, so I've always appreciated him for his work, and this sort of made me feel a little bit of what he would feel like driving those big trucks and being all firefighter-y and stuff, putting out fires and saving people. Thank you, firefighters, for your job. They also have their clothes there that you can try on. Of course, they kind of don't fit me, so I don't know. Have there been any fat firemen before? Either way, it's kind of cool to have the kids there go and play and try on the uniform. My brother says he can get in his in 30 seconds, but who knows if I believe him or not. But if you're there in Beaumont, make sure to check out the Fire Museum of Texas. It's fun for kids. You can see all the different fire trucks. Beaumont is also home to the Edison Museum. Now, I'm not sure why they have an Edison Museum there, but they do. And it's fun and enjoyable and informative. They got several of his inventions there. You can check to find out some of the history behind them. Of course, they talk about the light bulb and all that fun stuff. And they have a portrait of him, which is pretty cool. But this museum is small, but has a lot of information. So if you go there with your kids, you can teach them a lot about technology and inventions and electricity and how it all really ties in together with energy and sound and stuff. So that Thomas Edison really did invent a lot of things, and here I am with this cutout. I love cutouts. Now we have the Texas Energy Museum. Beaumont is in the region where we have a lot of gas and a lot of oil, so of course energy is going to be important to the area. So in this museum, may be small, but it has a lot of information in it too. It's very informative. It's got some fossils and some local history, some energy history. It's a pretty cool museum to go and spend a nice little afternoon just looking around and checking things out, learning a little bit about how things work and about the history of Texas and the gas industry and the oil industry. Also, it tells you a bit about those oil refineries, which look really complex and complicated with all the tubings and everything. It does its best to explain things, and it sort of makes sense after you see all of that and read all of that, but I don't know, I still think it's too many pipes. But this Texas Energy Museum, like I said, the second floor is just dedicated to some of the local companies that have been there for a long time, and it's kind of cool seeing all of that. Plus, it gives you a history lesson on Spindletop, which was the one that started it all. And sharing the same parking lot is the Art Museum of Southeast Texas, I mean. It's a pretty cool little museum. It's got some permanent collections that are definitely worth a look at, like this mobile, and some other artwork that you can see in some of the galleries. Now, it's not like Leonardo's and Michelangelo's and all that kind of stuff, but it's still a pretty good museum. I like seeing some local art intertwined with some national art, and seeing some people that are well known mixed in with people that you don't know too well, which is what art is all about, because everybody can't make art. And some of these are actually pretty cool, like this junk display. I was amazed by it. It was huge. And then was the main event that they had there, but they had a water leak, so I wasn't quite able to go in there and experience it, but I was still able to take video of what it looked like. And it's surrounded by blocks which are decorated. Now here in Beaumont, we also have this Spindletop Boomtown Museum. It showcases what the Spindletop era used to look like back then, when oil was first found here, and it started a whole new craze, and people went crazy over the oil. Now, Beaumont also has its pretty areas, such as the Cattail Marsh Scenic Wetlands. These wetlands, when it's not too cold or cloudy, are usually filled with birds. Here are just some of them that I saw. Of course, my grackles are there. I love you, grackles. And there's supposed to be alligators in there, but like I said, it was kind of chilly and cloudy, so they were, I guess, napping or something. And you saw some birds out in the distance, so you know that when it's nicer and sunnier, you can see some more of them just out there doing their bird things. So it's definitely a come back and visit place, but the areas around there is pretty. Of course, you can't go to Beaumont and Port Arthur without having some Cajun food. We're so close to Louisiana at this point that it shares its food with us. And of course, you have to have some crayfish or crawdads when you're there and suck the head out. And then have some crabs, which I do not know how to eat. I wish I was a pufferfish who just eats them whole, but I can't. But look at that catfish and popcorn shrimp. Delicious, and boudin balls. Anyways, thanks for coming along with me on this trip to Beaumont. I hope you get to visit sometime. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.